Thanks.
Good afternoon, Mr. Umar.
Good afternoon, Tolani.
Yes, thank you for having us this afternoon. Kindly introduce yourself, please.
Okay, thank you for having me in the studio for Hackbio. My name is Umar and traditionally been called Baba Saraki. I was born in Nigeria and raised partly in Egypt and partly in Nigeria, where I started my educational journey. I completed my undergraduate trainings in anatomy at AHMAD University Zaria, and I did my National Youth Service Corps called NYSC at Niger Delta University in Bayelsa State. I began my working career with developmental partners, developmental projects at Targeted State High Impact Project, which is a USAID funded project in Bauchi and Sokoto State that try to reduce the rates of maternal child health, family planning, and reproductive health in those states in the northern regions in Nigeria. Owing to my willingness and interest in teaching and research, I joined the service of Bauchi State University as a full-time lecturer to date, where I serve as an acting dean and acting head of department at the same time, so Department of Anatomy, before I embark for my PhD in Malaysia. Thank you.
Wow, your journey has been quite impressive and interesting, Umar.
Thank you, Telani.
So there's something interesting actually. What inspired you to go after bioinformatics, like leaving anatomy and then wanting to pursue a career in bioinformatics? Can you tell us why you have such interest in it?
Originally been having an anatomy as my background, and the courses we offer in anatomy includes human genetics and genomics. So right from my undergraduate days, I was so interested in the science of genetics in particular. So I can say, discover how genetics turned into bioinformatics. So I become interested in bioinformatics initially by necessity, I can say, and currently by passion, due to the nature of my PhD work that involves subjecting cancer samples for high throughput sequencing and analyzing the whole transcriptome to better understand the underlying mechanisms of a disease state and how it relates to cancer resistance to virotherapy, which is an act of using natural oncolytic viruses to cure cancer. So when I discovered the field of bioinformatics, I felt like a wet lab is not really for my type, as I have since been very interested in anything computation, right from my undergraduate study, where we were taught an introductions to information technology and introduced to Unix and shell command lines, that I always found it amazing and driving the science of today's bioinformatics. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was quite an interesting insight to your choice and then your journey as a PhD student in cancer research and disease mechanism. And I would like you to tell us about your experience with HackBio. Tell us more about it. Just summarize how it was for you.
I can see originally I found HackBio on Twitter because I found Twitter for academics and professional development. So usually I check Twitter accounts to check for, I usually search the terms bioinformatics, Python, Unix, and certain terms like that I use in line with bioinformatics. So I discovered HackBio being shared as an intensive programs to apply for any scientist, irrespective of whether you are a postdoc or a PhD. undergraduate student. So I decided to apply. And luckily for me, I was really excited when I was awarded the virtual internship programs by HackBio. So this is because it is the first time that I came across a bioinformatics internship program such as that of the HackBio, even though I participated in so many online trainings, workshops, and conferences related to bioinformatics, but I have never had seen an internship program that is taxing and coupled with networking and making it easier to collaborate among many young scientists as HackBio. So I have learned so much and the experience was so amazing to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Umar. Thank you. Um, Please tell us about the team-based internship. How did it affect you? How did it affect your perspective? And what do you think the experience, the team-based experience at AgBio, how did it contribute towards the success of the internship program?
Right from the time I started my career, I can say I am very used to working collaboratively on a project. I serve as a project coordinator and a supervisor in the project before. I also serve as an acting dean of faculty before, so I typically know the impacts of teamwork. What I experienced in HackVio while working with my team on a project assigned to us was miscommunications and the impact of time zones, being I am in Malaysia, and most of the times when the programs will start and here is at midnight, at times it's 3 a.m. here, and I cannot sleep, and that has affected my ability. And as well, the inability of the leader to inclusively work with everyone irrespective of where the person came from and his background. These factors demotivated me and have affected my zeal to progress the project that we started before. Thank you.
Thank you. And your response showed that you actually made a lot of sacrifices concerning the time zone differences, and
Exactly.
having to learn with people. Well,
Exactly.
we would look into that.
Thank
So,
you.
would you say that with the challenges, do you think the experience was worthwhile?
Really worth it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Dr. Umar, you were recently awarded your PhD. Tell us about that. Do you think HackBio contributed at all to, your the success of the PhD program?
Okay, thank you, Solani, for this question. First of all, I should thank God that this journey has come to an end and my PhD is awarded after 4 years, 4 months journey. Being trained in a molecular and cancer biology lab, I can say, during my PhD has established my solid understanding and skills in experimental cancer biology. And I worked on a project that actually sorted out to dispel the genetic component that regulates the molecular networks and underlying the development of NDB persistent infections. NDB is Newcastle disease virus in bladder cancer. So in the course of doing my PhD, I personally sequenced the bladder cancer cell lines by whole transcriptomes using next generation sequencing and develop bioinformatics 5 lines for the analysis. I also assembled and analyzed the transcriptome profiles of the bladder cancer that I established. It's a new cell lines that I established myself in the lab using Linux command lines in HPC environment. And I was able to write 5 authors first authors publications and several second authors publications and 1 doctoral dissertations that added more insightful information to the existing body of knowledge in cancer genomics and transcriptional misregulations of human bladder cancer. And I also developed a standard protocol for the propagations and purifications of oncolytic Newcastle disease virus to be used for viral therapy that is currently being applied in most of the local laboratories in Malaysia, and presented my research orally and in oral highlights in 4 international conferences across 2 countries. And finally, my PhD work has successfully identified the disrupted molecular pathways and networks that are associated with NDV persistent infections in cancer, as well as the potential drug targets against the development of persistent infections. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. How does it feel contributing to science? Because your project sounds really brilliant. It must feel really good contributing to science and contributing to innovations in scientific research.
Exactly.
Okay, one last question, Dr. Umar. If there is one thing you'd like to add to the internship scheme, what would it be?
Okay, thank you, Solani, for this. I think the internship is based, I can say, is based in its current forms and the curricular structure as well. All that I will suggest is to improve the internship scheme maybe later on is to first find a way of introducing some of the basic tools that the interns might need them while in the course of their internship. This is very paramount, and it will make them be at least have an introductory familiarity of certain tools that are used in bioinformatics, drug development, and vaccine and so forth. So later on, when they are enrolled into the system, they will be able to grasp faster than before how the internship was went.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. We would look into that and make sure that we come up with a more introductory method to our internship programs, especially in this fellowship. Thank you for having us, Dr. Umar.
Yeah, welcome.
The little time we've talked, I actually learned 1 or 2 things from your research, and it was really nice talking to you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Yes, do have a great time.
Thank you.